like they are one of the better teams in EMEA, so this is going to be so sick, going straight into it with a mid-default.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who feel like this team, FUT, is the best team that EMEA has to offer, so we'll see how they will test their mettle against one of the best in China, again, in front of a home crowd. FPX starting off on the attacking side. There's already a heavy push up middle, and it's already kill going the way of FUT.
Three players that are pushing all the way through after that kill, and FPX haven't moved at all.
Another perfect kill. 2 down on the side of FPX already, and it's not seeming like it's getting any better. Numbers away at the defense. The spike is out in no man's land. Ayang with so much to do, and he cannot convert. FUT will get the pistol.
Both teams off the rip, so convincing. Off of that mid-utility from FPX, FUT decided to just go push all the way through A and catch out the lurk.
Yeah.
And they punish it, and then they don't stop there. They just keep going. And this is this FUT team, they're so special in this way. They just like to fight like this as a pack. And then it was beautiful. It was just all she wrote at the end in mid there. And the hype.
All that after the pistol. I mean, they're fired up, bro. And again, we are inevitably going to be in for a good time. You see it, 3 rifles, the Bulldogs in the hands of FPX, a pistol, and then a Spectre. While FPX choosing not to invest into this whatsoever. See if they can get as much min-maxing as you can, right? Get your orbs, maybe get a free kill, something else.
Yeah, on the opposite side of the map, another slow default from FUT there, just taking that A control. Now they're able to rotate back and have potentially 3, even maybe 4 players here for this B. Pressure.
Start to see that fall line instantly come through and delay for just a moment. That pesky trip eventually does go down, but the spam comes through. Autumn will fall. See ya. And again, so will the rest of FPX. Just don't really have anything to fight back with here.
Yeah, they can't really do anything here, and that's to be expected. I mean, this is an eco.
Yep.
But going into this, we had an early mid default from the side of FPX. Then we had, you know, a little B pressure, grab the orb, try to get some ult economy going, and Life is already halfway to his ult. Ayang is also halfway, but I'm seeing light armor across the board. And when you look at this buy from FUT, they have so many good weapons and utility going into this next round. I mean, they won that pretty convincingly, yeah?
Yeah, it was clean.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very tough ask for the side of FPX, but let's see what they can cook up. Looks like it'll be another mid-side default here from the side of FPX.
Tough here, too. Neither team really anywhere close to having ults online.
And already, because of that pressure that FUT put on to FPX, just off of the pistol round, you see this slow default. First 15 seconds of the round, nothing being done.
Yeah, it's really just a threat. We see the same cascade up mid, this time being kept back by a trip. Perfect timing from the observers. There are the goats. And now a lean towards A. CNET feeling a lot of pressure here. The Harbor utility, everything being dumped that way, but they're not fully convinced that this is where they want to go.
What a fault line.
Oh, what a perfect swing, too. Autumn catching the duelist on the opposing side.
Very slow approach to the round is FPX. And now they're looking like they're going to gear towards mid and market area. This clone should get info.
Atta Captain Yetuje standing side by side. First the clone, then the flash, and now the wall. They're going to peek right on the other side. Life able to get one. But can Yetuje play his cards just right? He's going to find a timing, isn't he? Not able to convert on the second, but the damage has been dealt. FPX roaring back into this, though, as Krax is left alone. Little handoff of the spike, and now committed for Life, who's now 1 point away from having his ult online. Presumably going to be up into the next. The shots will not connect. FPX are on the board.
That was a beautiful round from the likes of FPX. They do a slow default. They know that FUT likes to play aggressive on this defensive side, as many teams do with Breach normally, right?
Yeah.
And after they get that A pick, they gear their faces towards mid, and they use this utility. They cycle the wall and the Harbor Cascades to take market control, and they just hold right there. That was wonderful.
It was a perfect round.
And you know what strikes out the most to me for this is that patience of just being like, okay, yeah, Lysor could have planted the bomb, but just giving it to Life in that scenario so he's one off, that is so crucial going into the next couple of gun rounds. And it shows confidence as well.
It's often considered the X factor in Valorant matches, and then, you know, arguably more so on the international stage. You continue to see that threatening harbor wall mid.
I was literally just about to talk about that because it's so weird that you see a comp like this out of a team, but we're seeing really good ideas from FPX on how they want to take map control. And that wall, it's all a feint. It baits out an Omen flash.
Yeah, that's huge.
And that's info.
Bomb buddy out.
Lysor committing his smoke to the opposite side. And a friendly ask for help.
Yeah. Interesting.
But this, I mean, this has really kind of been the MO for FPX so far, right? These slow rounds, feel the map out, threaten any which way you can, and then commit. Remember, it was a previous round. They were in market, test the waters here, but again, it's just the clone. It's finding some space mid, yeah.
They're cooking up some really cool ideas right now and getting a lot of info and baiting out rotations. That market play baited 3 players to stay B, but they might miss their timing, Doug. There's only 20 seconds left.
The thing about manipulating rotations is you have to strike when the timing is right. Now leaning towards A, but Cena already here. 12 seconds left. They're going to have to get out on this very quickly. The Cove to provide some cover. Cena the first to fall as FPX finds some space, but Captain keeps him back. Mr. Fallen now the only one remaining, but there's not enough time to get the spike down. What a beautiful round from FUT.
Oh my gosh, FPX did such a good job in the early round manipulating all these rotations, baiting out utility, understanding where the players and the pieces of the puzzle are of FUT, but they let the clock run down too low. They waited way too long. And Captain just being the anchor in that backside area, not getting cleared out, taking out Berlin with the bomb, ends up securing them the round win.
When you burn the clock down that much, there's no room for error. You have to be decisive, you have to be swift. And unfortunately, they weren't. So FUT get away with what perhaps was a stolen round.
Yeah.
Now we'll see what FPX can do to respond. This is the first time Life has his ult.
Yeah, he got it in that last round off of that kill into market. And they, you know what was interesting? They set him up as a lurk that last round. It's not every day you see a Yoru on the lurk. Here. Just another very slow round. It seems like FPX are using an explosive approach, taking certain areas of the map control. But when they take it, it's very convincing.
Yoru committed, a couple of flashes to be a nuisance. But what does Life ultimately do? Commits to it. They've gotten a little bit of space here, but I don't know that it's been enough.
Spike down B.
FUT so far have been able to keep him back. 3 remaining on the attack side. That's certainly going to help things. The swing from Yep2J. Oh, and he's not able to get the kill. Lysor converts. Captain now against the world to 1v3, and yeah, they're weak. But can he pull off the kills? Feeling the pressures, the walls close in, the shots will not land. And FPX get their second.
What a round from Lysor.
Massive.
Having his teammates back the entire way. That thrash had a player dead to rights, just in the open of the B site. And Lysor just comes up huge. Look at these shots after being stunned, Doug.
The first kill, I mean, stuns are cosmetic.
Oh my gosh, it was fake.
Massive round.
And then taking out his counterpart of Captain. The Omen diff right at the end to secure the round.
You could see it on FPX's faces, man. They knew that one got away from them. And so the first...
Yeah, instead of going one by one by one.
Right, giving the ones is never a good idea. So back into the action we go. FPX with plenty of firepower, but not nearly as fortunate. And because of that, they have to be really proactive with how they're approaching this defensive round. You mentioned that for the first 15 seconds, they don't really do anything.
Yeah.
This is a flip of the script. Paranoia in the face of Autumn dodges it. They're going to get hit by their trip, and I don't know that there's really anywhere for them to go.
Oh my gosh.
Krax gets 2?
Oh my gosh.
This is not supposed to be going this way. They should be able to upgrade. Oh no, they're hanging onto these weapons. They're sitting right on top of them.
But they don't have bomb. Bomb's all the way in spawn, and you would think that FPX was actually playing for that push, but it just didn't go their way. The players of FUT are just too cracked.
Lysor scoops up the spike, and now they turn their attention towards A.
My gosh, that's actually so cool because nobody from the side of FUT, they don't know where that Omenal actually is. They don't understand that the bomb was in spawn and that he was just ulting to grab it. So they might be worried here, and that's why they're having a pack mentality. They don't want to get caught out having to be flanked by an
30
Omenal.
seconds left.
They still managed to upgrade the weapon, so Mr. Fallen and Yetu both have rifles now. No armor to speak of, but plenty to fight back with.
Spike planted.
YSR committing to the spike. And now the round begins. One goes down, out of Captain falls. Mr. Fallen has his util online as the spike ticks away. FUT with all of the Onis here, they're the ones who are going to have to be proactive and make a play. If they can find the space. One flash to work with two. Do they flash and do they try to swing? No, it's a fall line. I don't think it's going to connect. A paranoid trade. There's a flash. Berlin going forward. One will fall. Mr. Fallen not able to land the shots on the second. The round goes the way of FPX.
And avoiding disaster is FPX because that was so crazy at the start from FUT. I cannot believe they got those kills.
It shouldn't have been this close.
Yeah, FPX were playing for that. Like their whole point of the default is to not die to an A fight like that and fight it together over time after that trip gets broken and the utility is used. That was so clutch from the side of FPX, and the smokes everywhere on that site makes it so chaotic for the retake.
Hey, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, you don't know where they're actually playing.
Right. Oh, that's early. A paranoia rocket from CNED. Not going to connect. Yoru TPs away and preserves his life.
Get him.
It's just in spawn still. We're 25 seconds into the round. A raise ult has been used already, and we haven't left spawn. It's so patient. And now you're going to see the re-clear utility. FPX are playing this map so nice right now.
Remember the unforced errors that we saw a couple of rounds ago, where time became the difference maker. Time became the decider.
I mean, so many layers of utility to take space, whether that's mid, whether that's A. A Fade ult invested onto the site here. Doesn't connect on anybody.
No, and the problem is FUT have a lot of retake ults. They don't even have to invest them. They just flood as soon as there's threat of the site. They got all that space back for nothing. And now out of Captain TPing back B. That's exactly where the hit is headed.
They have a hard read on this round.
Reckoning used. Mr. Fallen still hanging on to the big one. Now, Rolling Thunder invested. 20 seconds left. Again, the need for pace, the need for urgency. And it might be too little too late. They're just now getting their way back out onto the site, and they're weak, they're battered, they're beaten. But can they fight back?
Spike down B.
A 2v2, they've got to commit, they've got to go, and they've got to go now. Autumn committing to the spike plant. Succeeding, but now left alone. A 1v2, he's got to make some magic happen. He's gotten it to one, and he gets them both. The Red Bull clutch for FPX.
Another robbery. I can't believe it. FPX in these chaotic moments when they're down numbers just seem to keep bringing it back. And I didn't understand this at all from Life, but I guess he was just a body bag to just keep rotations there. But again, I thought this TP from Atacaptain, that Omen ult, I thought that was going to secure the round. You have a breach there to support you with utility. But they're, look at the hype from Autumn. But they're jumping the gun too early when they're up numbers like this. They need to just relax the round and do a retake together, Doug.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. FPX take the lead back. Autumn with his ult online after those heroics in the previous round.
Where are you?
And FUT with pistols.
What a cool lineup. I mean, FPX have definitely been cooking. They said that they were going to shock the likes of FUT, maybe bring out something to surprise them. But the strategy behind it is so unique, and it makes sense.
We've seen the Harbor Wall go A a lot of times at the beginning of the round. This time in early investment B, clearing of the trip. Meanwhile, Autumn has taken so much space across the middle of the map already. The problem is if they commit to this, the stack is here. Yoru can TP out, the spike will go with him.
And FPX are using this Harbor utility to just like take individual fights onto the site. They're trying to get isolated fights, and half FUT use utility to re-clear the areas that they pressure. And that's so strong because if FUT gets scared in this match and they don't use utility to re-clear, they're going to have no idea where FPX is hitting.
It's a double-edged sword, though. If they continue to try to manipulate these rotations, time has been a problem. I don't think it'll be the case this time around. But again, you're getting so dangerously close here, man. If something goes wrong, you could easily lose the round. But that seems to be FPX's approach. That's the strategy they wanted to take into this attack half.
Right there. This retake should be nearly impossible. This post plant, 3 players, four players, all geared up.
Mr. Fallen still gets his one. He got his. 25 HP. You can't imagine anyone else would be swinging into this. Ideally, they're keeping these weapons. Yeah, Mr. Fallen will fall. So we're able to carry those 3 rifles into the next round. FPX gets to 5, but now FUT with rifles should be able to respond.
And when you run the clock down like that and you wait so long to hit, it kind of cooks in the mind. Mr. Fallen hasn't really gotten many value from that fault line or his flashes so far. So FPX are doing a good job of denying the value of the breach on this map so far with this weird comp.
I'll find you.
Another 4-1 default. Life has been cooking up as this map has gone on so far. He's sitting at 9-5, second Yoru ult of the game.
A ton of info to be found here, too.
Free sight.
And again, they've inserted Autumn mid.
I'm back.
They're fully committing to this. Krax has his ult, so maybe there's something that they can get back with here. It's just a question of when they pull the trigger and if they pull the trigger. And there it is, the fault line and Thrash to take some space, try to find some real estate. Berlin is caught. Yetu is going to get traded back, though. They managed to get the spike down. 4v4.
Time.
Autumn's ult still in play as he gets another kill. Looking for the swing onto the second. Cena's there to trade and respond. Life now striking back. Numbers in favor of the attack. Ayang's so weak. And time is of the essence. I don't think there's any way for them to get in on this. They're going to try to exit out, but keep an eye on Life. He might be able to cut off the rotations of at least one. Will Mr. Fallen meet his demise? Yes, he will. One gets away, but yeah, Life trying to hunt and trying to find. Captain will find safe passage into the next round, but FPX up 3 rounds here.
When you're playing against a Harbor and you give sight like that for free, it is so hard to commit a retake because that wall just comes up and you're pushing through, you're getting slowed, all this other utility is coming out. And Life in this round was the key factor to winning. He played up close, baited out the Thrash, TP'd away, and then reflanked mid. After Autumn falls there, getting one, no one's going to be checking market after that.
Yeah,
Life played such a phenomenal round right there.
You highlighted him at the beginning of the round, too. 11-5 now. And again, the buy for FUT is not great.
FUT just don't have an answer, and they don't have any reads on FPX. What FPX have done so far to FUT has been insane.
It feels surgical in a lot of ways. They show next to nothing at the beginning of these rounds. And you're right, they're drawing out utility. They're clearing out what's permanent from Yetu stuff. It's just so miserable to deal with. But the truth of the matter is, FUT have to find a way. It might not be in this round. They have invested a rifle into the hands of Captain, though.
I mean, it's just so surgical. It's piece by piece. For FPX, they have so much utility to take certain engagements that they want, that are favored for them. This is beautiful Valorant that we're seeing right now.
Dude, the Harbor Wall just went up and it instantly drew rotations back from CNET and Mr. Fallen back towards B, while the rest of FPX was going A.
30 seconds left.
They're playing them on puppet strings right now.
This is such a pleasure to watch.
The picture's only getting better for FPX fans. And yeah, maybe FUT are forcing us here a little bit because they don't really have the weaponry to fight back with, but this has been a gorgeous display of Valorant.
I mean, they've completely dismantled this defense of the side of FUT.
It's a second flawless round of the half, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it was against an eco, to be fair, but the way that they're manipulating rotations.
Very pretty. Very pretty.
If your foot right now, that's playing into your head. There's like 2 steps ahead. They have lurks set up everywhere. They're punishing you for everything. And when you play against a Harbor in high-pressure moments like this, it's so easy in practice and in scrims maybe to abuse that Harbor wall, maybe push through it. But you second-guess yourself in high-pressure moments like this. And if you try to run through that wall and you get punished, you're likely not to do that again.
Yeah, you're not going to get burned twice.
So that's why you're seeing FPX have so much value, especially on this B side or A side of the map, with taking these early spaces to just hold and get info. And they deposited life that last round on B, and he TP'd out. And then they re-walk in. It's so crazy what we're seeing. And this A push has really been the only success we've seen FUT have so far, and they get another kill.
Yeah, but can they double down on it? Desperately starved for a round.
I think this might be the first round that we've seen Autumn actually lurk towards this B side of the map. And it's just such a slow approach again. I mean, so many players moving on the side of FUT constantly through the rounds.
Harbor wall, paranoia, dog, second dog. They're investing everything in EF2J, and they still aren't fully convinced they want to hit that site. They push up mid, they get a kill towards A, and that's where they're headed. Captain's the only one here who's close by. But surely they understand they don't have main control. Meanwhile, a fight happening back in spawn. Ion falling at the hands of Cracks, but Captain will fall on the other side as well. There's just no success to be found for FUT.
It's unbelievable what we're seeing right now.
How does Cracks pull this off? A 1v3 gets a little bit closer, a little bit easier.
Again, the Harbor wall. And they have Cypher Cam up.
Tries to push through and sends Wingman as the sacrificial lamb, but it's not going to be enough.
It's so beautiful what they're doing with these Harbor walls. That was all a ruse. All that market pressure, everything. It was all a ruse. It was all to set up the top mid peak from Berlin. Catching out one of the players from A that wants to fall back and pick up that top mid. He gets a free kill onto that guy, and all of a sudden you have all that space, and you're able to go into CT spawn and go A.
FPX currently running circles around FUT. The timeline tells the story. Last round of the half. Again, FUT desperate for success of any kind. And this time the approach is a little different. They establish in B main control. They get the orb in the hands of Mr. Fallen. Now it's online.
The game plan from FPX has not changed since the start of the game.
Yeah,
it's been the same default every single round. They haven't done an execute, I think, once. It's been a default every round.
Yeah.
Big teleport.
And you're exactly right. They haven't had to do anything because they're winning the macro game by I don't know, by like 10 miles right now.
This time they're making a lot of noise A.
But look, it's all a bait again. They send Life up with some utility with the Harbor wall, and he just TPs out for free. And this opens up a market split.
There are only 2 here, but one of them has the ult.
Oh my gosh!
You gotta remember, Mr. Fallen with ult online commits a Rolling Thunder. It's gonna hit him all back. Meanwhile, there's a crunch coming in from mid. But Life able to hold him back, get his 2. The crunch alleviated, but is he expecting the third? CNED on the prowl. The shots will not land as Life turns on him and destroys him in the process. Yeah, Tujay, a 1v3 and the spike running away. That ult is gonna help, but he's been spotted and he's been had. Oh, he's toying with them.
He was playing with his food. He gets punished for it, as he should.
They managed to get the spike down. Now Yetujay in a 1v2. No real time to be quiet about it. He's gonna swing into 2. He's gotten it down to 1. But Berlin saves the round for FPX and gets him to 9.
FPX are looking so confident that they're playing around right now.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Even at the end there. Forget what Life did. Oh, by the way, this was crazy. This in itself was insane. The flick right here, unreal.
Yeah, for the third. I mean, the win condition was on the crunch mid.
Yeah, but this right here, they're both just standing still. They're so confident. They're like, all right, just peek us. We'll take you out. Look, they can't even believe it.
Giving flowers where they're due, because that round easily could have gone the other way. But FPX in a commanding lead. They've run circles around FUT, and they've gotten themselves to a 9-3 half. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break FPX. Brought a very interesting approach to their attack half. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot on FUT here for them to be able to make this in competitive and respond. Yes, we'll see if they can do so, though.
And then,
look at that harbor wall already.
It blocks off B main and mid a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap on the right side of that wall, but they might be conditioning that early on to set up some aggro mid plays in the future. And this is just a convincing little sneak into mid from the side of FUT.
I think they know, though. You saw the pinks come up on the minimap. There's the fault line. Hyung's the first to fall. Lysar on the swing will meet his demise and join his teammate. As FUT in a very comfortable lead here. They're going to get out onto A. They're going to be able to do so with time. Unless FPX try to flood, but as soon as they try to do so, they crumble. A flawless pistol for FUT.
That was a beautiful pistol on top of that. They just walked straight up mid after using their default utility, and the key factor here was Mr. Fallen sitting outside of A with a stun. So as all the players of FUT are walking and going towards that A site, if they make contact anywhere here, that fault line comes out.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah,
it's so cool. And yeah, it could be punished by, you know, FPX pushing up A, but that's the gamble that you have to take.
Right. And that's really the name of the game when it comes to pistols. Right? There's only so much you can cover, and there's only so much you can plan for. The rest just kind of has to go your way. So FUT win the desperately needed pistol. FPX not really investing into this at all.
Yeah. And much like the opposite of what FPX is doing, FUT decided to take fast A control here. Farm that orb onto Cracks. And now they cut noise here after depositing player like just spotting B mid and one in main.
They're kind of committed to this. I don't know that they have enough room to pivot to plan B if they don't like what they have A. And they're getting wrapped on. FPX finding some space and trying to take these fights. They just don't have the guns to fight back, though. Berlin's caught on a terrible spot here. Yeah, he gets a kill on the Y2J, but still plenty of work to be done.
So far, both teams have had a really strong approach to this attacking side. Even FUT here in this last round, they took early space on A. They used a lot of utility to take it, and then they cut noise, waiting for a re-clear. And they come out on top. And after that re-clear comes out and they punish it, that's when the lurk gets activated from Y2J. He goes up top mid, he gets a rotate. CNED was in mid, he can clean up the round for him afterwards. Both approaches so far on the attacking side have been really strong. But this bonus feels like it needs to go to the way of FUT.
Yeah, agreed. Little rush to deny early aggression A.
I have to point out, that wall actually does connect to all of mid as well.
Yeah.
It was just missed the last round.
And you have to clear that thing 2 times if you want to get B main control. Yep. You have to clear it the first, I mean, depending on which way you go, yeah, you're clearing that thing twice. But it goes down to Paranoia out towards the middle of the map, and FPX want to take this fight. They dig their heels in, refusing to relent on the space. And now Mr. Fallen's left in a 1v4 with nothing but a stinger. No shot. Wow.
It was the conditioning from the harbor, much like the attacking side. Berlin playing that market area. He walls off B main and mid in the beginning of the round. Then he uses a cascade onto tiles, and that allows for this re-clear of mid to happen at any moment. It doesn't have to happen as soon as that cascade comes out. They let it cook a little bit. They let it simmer. And then they executed on it. And Life just reigning supreme once again.
5 rounds separating these 2 squads.
A new harbor wall, blocking off all of mid and Life, getting very confident here, just walking down.
And they still managed to control B main, this time with a cascade, though.
Pushes through the wall.
He's ahead of
this
it.
This is insane.
He's
No one's gonna check this.
They're behind him. Oh my gosh, Life! How do you get away with that? CNED, though, trying to strike back.
Blocking fire.
Getting a kill to keep things competitive and keep it close. as we're down to 3 apiece.
But they don't have bomb control.
And there's no TP, there's no Omen to get there. So they're gonna have to fight through this FPX defense. And that's just to get the spike. A borderline impossible situation. Faces the attack side. But the need to solve it is ever great. The truth is, they don't have a ton of time either. 40 seconds left, they gotta swing, they gotta take these fights, and so far they've gone the way of FUT. Life has been good, but is he gonna be good enough to get them both to get the round for FPX?
30 seconds left.
Safe passage acquired by Yetu. He's got the spike, he should be able to plan A.
Decides the path up top mid as his bomb is being planted.
Can't hit the spike. My ultimate is ready.
A 1v1 for the round. He plants the spike and now wants to go aggressive. He's gonna wrap behind him, and Life has no idea. He's weak, but his health might not matter. He turned, but Yetu gets a kill anyway.
Both of these players
They will
were
study.
huge in this round. Life opened it up with that walk down mid, doing what some would call a ranked play. He just walked through mid by himself. He didn't care at all. But on the flip side, Yetu also walked straight up mid and did the same exact thing. And then it came down to a 1v1 between the two players that opened up the round for each prospective team. This is the battle I expected.
Much more competitive. Oh my gosh, they go aggressive again. An early flash and a TP from Lysor to take the space. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, that same harbor wall that we've been talking about.
The small things that we're seeing, Doug, from FPX are so unique. And it's really kind of like they're changing the game.
Yeah.
They're not playing the meta way. I mean, an Omen TP to get a forward aggressive angle like that, I've never seen anybody do that on Sunset so far. These micro things that are being done from FPX, it's so hard to play against things like that because you're not used to seeing it every day.
Well, the fun thing is, too, is they have a similar approach on other maps that we will see later in this series.
Yeah.
Cheeky little peeks like that, but back into this we go. CNED committing to the ult. Not going to connect, and he's kind of stuck here. He's got nowhere to go. Yeah, he'll fall at the hands of Berlin. Oh my gosh, Life stuck that?
I know exactly.
That was madness! But because of that, they've been able to get a little bit of space here. The Prowler going to be traded for the Thrash. As Krax tries to find some space. Spike ticking away. Autumn on the tap. Tries to turn the flash. Number still in favor of the defense, but they're starting to fall now. As Yetu gets 4!
Okay.
Again on the lurk. He's reigning supreme and he's warming up now. Smiles out of the side of FUT. There's life within the team. I was getting very worried for them, especially after that first half and the complete dismantling that happened to them. But they're starting to bring this back. Slowly and surely. And the poise on Ayung there. And Yetu cleaned that up nicely. Both teams on their attacking side have been opting to go for 4-1 approaches. And it seems to be working for both sides. This time a more spread default. Getting Yetu walked up in mid here.
Oh, he's spotting Berlin as he tried to clear the cam. He pays for it with his life. They try to swarm and overwhelm with the numbers that they have. And they will get their 1.
Oh my gosh.
That's now 2.
Mid.
That's bomb! Bomb's down in mid!
Not this again. How are they going to rewrap this?
Ada Captain's gonna grab Omenot and grab the bomb here, but will it be enough?
Spike's down again!
Spike down, B.
Another need for them to fight their way out!
Autumn's just running him down right now.
Thrifty.
What a round from FPX!
And what shots that we're seeing. Just taking the heads clean off of FUT with Sheriffs.
We're going to take a look at that one more time.
at this kill right here. Oh my gosh. That is so clean. And then Autumn just holding W. W gaming.
One enemy remaining.
Frustration from the coach.
No time to dwell on it. Back into the action we go. It's that same harbor wall B. Meanwhile, FUT trying to establish some present day, but they're just walking into the grinder once more.
The Omen flash was perfect.
No space allotted.
And Life again has just walked all the way down mid.
He's wrapped him. And they had no idea.
Time to jump.
Cracks falls, and now they realize the terrible situation they find themselves in.
It's madness.
Yetu on the opposite side of the map from the spike. He was supposed to find some space, maybe get a late lurk, and be able to strike when FPX weren't expecting it. But now all eyes are turned towards him.
This has been something so special from the side of FPX. Confidence brewing. Home field advantage. The crowd is hyping them up every single time they get a kill. And they're feeling that energy. And now they're just taking any risky play because they know they can. They're not getting punished for stuff like this. This is like the third, fourth round. Life has just solo pushed down mid. And just been a thorn in the side of FUT.
They've just been dismantled on their map pick.
Don't tell me he's gonna walk down mid again.
It's the FPX way so far.
Decoy.
But it seems like they're
Oh, it's a mid.
aware of it.
This should be a cue from FUT. This happened already once before.
Berlin getting the opener. The flash is there. The strike is perfect. They all crumble. They all fall. Yetu and Mr. Fallen left to try to solve how they find themselves in such a miserable position. The spike is going to try to rotate A, but if the timing is not great, he's going to get cut off. It's not going to matter. FPX roll on Sunset.
That was reach because now they can set up CNET a little bit more, have flashes and etc. And I think that starting on the attacking side for FUT here is really good for them because we saw what FPX can do when they set the pace.
Yeah. The last time we saw Lotus was just a couple hours ago and entirely subverted expectations, so we'll see if this is the same. FUT deciding to be pacey here.
A fast B hit.
Yeah, and they're committing to it too. The paranoia. CNET is dashed through. The suck not going to connect onto anything. A little bit of space found, but can a kill be acquired? Berlin's dancing around.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's dancing around all this utility. Now understanding that they've lost way more space than they had realized. FUT finding a couple of kills as Captain gets 3 on the round. And Lysor's left alone, rotating from B.
Just an all-out war on the C site. And FUT just in this post-plant positioning. This should be a wrap here. Oh.
As soon as you try to take that fight, you get tapped. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's his 4th of the round too, so he's already building up halfway to that Viper ult. And we had questions, you know, is Viper gonna be played even?
Yeah.
You know, what's gonna happen? But teams are making it work. And Captain getting 4 onto this round is a great way to set himself up and his team up for success later in these rounds. I mean, he has a potential here to farm orbs, get kills, and even get the Viper's Pit for that bonus. And that would be great for the side of FUT.
That's how a snowball starts. You're absolutely right.
This time a 4-1 towards that A side of the map for the side of FUT. No breach utility used though. I think just maybe 1 flash. So fault line is still up, and FPX are all gonna be here for the hit.
I mean, every single one of them.
Right now, if you're FUT, you need to let Yetu get the info on the C side of the map and not get caught out by any traps that FPX have.
The way FUT normally like to play Lotus is they'll run a 4-1 a lot where Yetu is like the lurker who, if there's any contact found or a kill found, they pivot away. So it's a different comp, but the approach is the same. They're going to try to commit to this, though. Krax is going to be the first to fall. Not liking what they're seeing A. Break the door, and they go B. Mr. Fallen trying to spam through and get a free kill in the smoke. Not going to find it, as it looks like they're still exploring. J rotating back A.
Wow. Around the world.
30 seconds left.
Should be a free C site here.
This is such an awkward round.
Yeah. CNET heating up, though. 3 to his name, all headshots.
All of that rotation, all of that noise made. All for CNET to just farm the round.
Beating
One enemy
confidence
remaining.
into the player who honestly has been phenomenal all year long. I mean, he's looked great in such a good form lately. And yeah, that last map he struggled, but we've seen how impactful he can be on the Jet, especially on this map. And there's not a lot of players that play Jet on Lotus to this day. But he makes it work within this team.
And you can see why with moments like that.
And he's the guy that you want to be heating up for you from the side of FUT.
He's the guy you need to be heating up for you, really. Light armor across every single member on the side of FPX. FUT hungry for a bonus. If they can pull this off and get momentum going their way, that would be big. Meanwhile, FPX choosing to take the fight to them.
Good job from FUT to stay ahead of that reclear utility, though, and not get punished. As I say that, Autumn takes the head off of Attacaptain.
Hey, he was just so aggressive on trying to take that space, and he gets punished for it.
FUT love tapping the bomb B and then
pushing into Spawn.
heading towards that C side of the map as well. They're about to have a pinch on the Berlin here. What can Berlin do in this moment? Once this Viper orb goes down, he's going to have to go for broke.
They're on the other side. Yep, there it goes. The orb goes down, and with it goes Berlin's health.
And Yedije is in such a deep lurk spot that by the time it actually unfolds for FPX, he's just going to get immense value.
But you can see it. Both members of FPX, as soon as they try clearing through here, they're looking back into Spawn. They had an idea of where J was, but he's still able to capitalize on it.
Oh, that TV will be heard from CNET.
Yeah, Lysor tried being cheeky with it.
This should just be a save here, Doug.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way for them to get in on this.
And already, much like the last map for FPX, FUT now have their foot on the gas.
We talked about how big bonuses are.
It's huge.
This is so huge for FUT.
And without any ults being used, this allows for the next gun round like a snowball to happen, right? Because now you have CNET coming up on Knives, you have Attacaptain coming up on Viper's Pit. Yedije is already going to have his ult probably by the next round after he farms some lurk kills into this eco round. So when that next gun round comes along, it's going to be hard for FPX. That being said, they do have a Thrash coming online for themselves soon, which will be good. And this will be another force buy, actually, from the side of FPX.
Lysor with no armor. And it's a heavy crunch from C. I mean, this feels like we're watching Sunset all over again. FUT are still back in Spawn, and FPX are pushing in forward. They get a paranoia out, they get a lot of space, but FUT feeling the pressure coming from the left side, decide they want to rotate right. Berlin is going to be the only one here.
Yeah, and he can't do much here. He just has to hold, wait for his team to come retake.
He got tagged too, down to 86 HP, no armor.
Oh, he might get cleared here, Doug.
Oh, he's playing a timing. He may be able to punish! Berlin gets two!
What shots?
So well played. And now realizing reinforcements are around the corner. Can play a bit more patiently. Life with a clean shot. This is where you see the force was well invested. As Attacaptain stands alone against 5, now 4. Life has gotten the defuse to half. You triple, quadruple face. That's a terrifying sight to swing into.
And what a round from Berlin and FPX as a unit. I mean, they just have these individuals that can steal rounds away from you. Berlin has no business getting 2 players there. I mean, he was on an island the entire round.
And he got tagged at the beginning.
I will say, though, FUT are approaching the beginning of these rounds really well. They're understanding that FPX likes to have trap plays, and they're reacting correctly, unlike the last map. And that's why you're seeing them sitting at 3-1. Yeah, they may have lost the last round, but it was off of heroics from FPX.
Viper wall going up A. Plenty of noise made. They're going to draw out the paranoia from Lysor too.
Yeah, and it's just the standard approach from the side of FUT. Pressure A, okay, we're going to go C, and we're going to commit on the first layer.
While
Why not?
also inserting Yetu-J. They hear him. They hear him. Oh, they've spotted him. And now Yetu-J gets punished. Through all of that, though, they get enough space to commit the spike to C, and they get the pit down. You see Cracks had his fault line, instantly used it to cut off any sort of attempt at a flood. Still 2 flashes to his name.
And this Viper's pit is insane.
Yeah, but they have the perfect counter to this ult, and it's Ion's ult. Thrash going forward, looking to find the selective target, and it's found. Captain will fall, the pit will go with it. They still have a shot at this, so it's CNED. 1v2, Blades online, it might not matter! CNED steals the round! The Red Bull clutch for FUT.
He does it again! The Jet on Lotus doesn't even need the knives, and he's 8-2. He's online. That last Raze map, a distant memory. He's hitting all the heads now. At the end, the one-tap dash. And he gets up! Oh! That will probably cause FPX to call a timeout, as they should. They need to ice that man right now, Doug, because he's popping off. Players on a re-clear, that FUT is just going the opposite way instantly. And I wonder if they're going to adapt to that and adjust and maybe fake pressure this A utility and then already be cheating towards that C side of the map.
I was about to say, as far as adaptations and adjustments go, there's one. The Odin spam. Uh-oh, CNED's in trouble. Oh, they don't know! Oh, they don't know! They don't know! Oh, CNED gets away with murder! It looked like he was a dead man walking. But he's far from done. Pushing the pace and looking for more. What a disastrous round.
I cannot believe that just happened.
One enemy
I'm at a loss for words.
A flawless round for FUT as they get to 5.
And you see it, though. You see how FUT are going to be able to punish the set plays that FPX are able to run here. And yeah, this is not going to happen every single time, right?
Well, and the problem was...
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, and the problem was, I mean, I think it was because he was behind the Viper wall, so there's no way to see where the Dizzy had gooped.
Exactly. But CNED took that space so aggressively because he understands the timings and the internal clock of FPX and how they like to use their re-clear utility.
Well, and then there was also the spam from the Odin that allowed safe passage and provided suppressive fire for him to take that line. Ridiculous, and so FPX off of that are back to scraps for a bye. A Marshall in the hands of Berlin, but that's it.
Life. Much like the previous map, he solo pushes up mid, but this time, FUT aren't falling for those antics. And he gets punished.
If you're FUT here, you want to get through this round as cleanly as you can. Try not to take any damage, which so far they've been successful in doing, and preserve all of their ults. But as we've seen this tournament, I know the days are early, but this seems to be when silliness happens.
One enemy remaining.
I don't think it's going to be the case this time around, though. Yeah, they've lost out a captain, but the rest of them are still healthy. They still have 3 ults to work with.
Yeah, FUT have looked so good on this map so far, Doug. They've been manipulating rotations, they've been beating timings. They're winning gunfights now, unlike the last map.
It's an important part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Autumn will fall to the hands of Mr. Fallen. FUT get up to 6. But honestly, too, Dre, this is what you would expect from Lotus, from the attack side. You're able to kind of feel things out a little bit more, play a little bit of mind games, throw some eye candy, and that hasn't necessarily been the way FUT have wanted to approach this.
Yeah.
But it is working out in their favor.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But we do have an operator online for the likes of Life. Will this be the answer? Can he bring them back from the grave? Because this is getting out of hand.
Oh, Mr. Fallen's delaying the spam. And he gets a tag.
CNET is really playing this like a monster.
Meanwhile, I'm not really sure how Berlin got that kill.
I think he
That's
must
a
have
crazy shot.
I think he must have just spammed him through that default orb there.
But they're rotating back towards C. FPX are cracked, still with his ult. Wow. I thought they were going to invest it into this hit, but no. Hanging onto it for now. Autumn getting tagged up. And he's isolated. Really nobody there to help him, but it might not matter. As Autumn's glad to do it on his own. The spike is crossed, but I don't think they're aware. And they're so concerned for Yetu on the flank that Life is still holding mid.
Oh my gosh, what a shot!
Still 3 to be found. Yetu healthy. A 1v3, that high low is brutal. As Ion drops them and as FPX get their second.
Autumn anchoring that C site. Getting 2 on the cross there. It was so clean. And this was that spam from the beginning of the round. Just the timing.
Oh, wow.
Poor Ada Captain. Head gets taken clean off.
Those are the worst.
And there's something that's just so funny about seeing Mr. Fallen in that scenario with an Odin being the one that pushes through a Viper Molly. That's not something you see every day.
No.
Dream big, make it happen.
Another op online for CNED. I don't think we're going to get a straight-up op duel because there are so many members here from both teams.
There.
Lightsource the first to fall, and Life gets a shot onto CNED.
Big kill, and that causes Yetu to
There.
bring it back with the team, and they regroup as a unit.
Life finding a second.
He pushed through the smoke!
As Ion's going to end another one too. Now the spike's sitting on the ground. They invest the Thrash and they take the space with it. Nowhere for them to go. This is really big for Mr. Fallen.
Are they aware?
He's got to find some success. And he's got the cross covered.
My camera is destroyed.
But has to give the space up. Understanding they're likely pushing into spawn. Keep a close eye on Mr. Fallen. He's the X factor in this round. On the swing, dropped.
Planted the spike.
Yetu now left alone. In 1v3, yeah, he managed to get the spike down, but the hard part is yet to come. He's not even gonna find one.
And poise being shown from FPX on that retake. Yeah, they could have rushed down Yetu there when he was thrashed, but they decide to just chill out, regroup, let's re-clear heaven because they know that they don't have a sentinel.
Right.
So FUT can really get into these really aggressive lurk spots, and they have to at least be grouped up and be able to trade if something happens. In this case, Ayang just goes crazy onto Mr. Fallen there, but Life was really the star of this round. I mean, that second kill that he got, he pushed through a smoke from his own teammate with an off. I mean, these are plays that, yeah, these are Schmeeg plays.
And even little things like making sure you're facing the right side and then turning to take the shot when you have the op out so the barrel doesn't give you away and you're peeking outside of that smoke is just crazy.
And now because CNET invested in attack op, there's a double op on the defensive side. But I feel like FUT are reading into this and they're hitting B.
Yeah, but that's where one of the ops is.
Autumn with the support.
He's got 2 and Life goes in aggressive. But Mr. Fallen's there for the trade.
Last player standing.
It's not really seeming to matter. That double op setup and then the rocket to boot was just too much.
And that got scary for a second there. Life was very patient, not shooting CNET when he crossed with the wide swing. But somehow that shot on the breach didn't connect. But he was bailed out by Autumn. That was really good team chemistry and good support. Beautiful.
Very nicely done by Autumn, for
And
sure.
then Life with the re-engagement with the rocket too. What an awesome string of events. and FPX are bringing this one back. FUT need to close this half out. We've seen how powerful FPX can be on the attacking side.
Seen it pop blades and has a stinger.
And Mr. Fallen has an op, but he gets
Not anymore.
taken out.
Oh, where did that shot go? Meanwhile, the blade's going aggressive. Op found.
No way.
Now the Rolling Thunder 2 is only going to tag onto one. Keep an eye on Autumn again. Could be finding just the right time, but the hits B. At least part of it is the spike C, but they've completely divided their attention.
It's a mess.
And it's thrown FPX into disarray. Cracks pushing forward, dropping one. And now things slow down. Look at it. FPX have to tuck back and spawn.
They're so worried about all these lurks. And oh, the rotation coming out. Yedeje getting deposited so deep into heaven there on the B site. That allows the easy rotation for FUT to get a bomb down safely.
One enemy remaining.
Berlin still with the op, and he's the last one alive here. This is ambitious.
Economy is good for the likes of FPX. They built up.
There's nowhere to go, my friend.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
They're dead. Take what's useful.
Yeah, they built up some stability, so they will have a full buy going into this next
Last
round.
round
But
before the
FUT,
switch.
they're playing the win condition beautifully. They understand that FPX doesn't have a Sentinel. They don't have any info on every single lane. And on a map like Lotus, if you try to hold every single lane, you're just going to get overwhelmed.
Right,
You
you
cannot
can't.
do that.
Dude, that second shot, it looked like it grazed the ear.
Yeah. And I love how there was like a little no-scope duel in the smoke there when
Yeah.
Cena dashed into it, grabbed the op. Berlin goes for the no-scope.
Right there.
Last round of the half. Seen it with op still in hand. His life has joined him. And once again, there's aggression on both sides. Life's the first to fall. Here, the op shots continue to rattle off. A threat and a warning on the other side of all of this utility. They're trying to find some space, too. Trying to tuck and maybe catch a timing, but Ion pays forward with his life, and FUT are not slowing down.
Punishing that A default that FPX have been doing so often.
Uh-oh, he's ahead of this. Berlin's ahead of it. Oh, Berlin's ahead of it! That's the pit! But there's still so much work to be done.
And Autumn is nowhere to be found. He's so worried about Yedeje, as he should be. But this time, Yedeje opting to just come back with the team.
It's just so ridiculous to deal with.
Last player standing.
Autumn will fall. Berlin gets his 2. Almost puts on a clip. But it's just not enough as FUT gets 8. And I think the last thing I very quickly want to mention on that is you're right. Yedeje has lurked so many times, not just in this map, but in previous maps that we've seen him play, that you have to respect it. And by him, just the threat of him doing that is enough to tie up defenses.
Yeah, and when you don't have a cipher of your own to kind of check that, it's tough to play against. That being said, FPX is good on the attacking side, at least on the last map that we saw. And they're going to have to shine here with this triple controller. They're going to have to manipulate the rotations with all the smokes that they have, maybe get their own lurks in.
It's really just 2 rounds that kind of get this to be so much more competitive. And because of that, all of the focus goes towards this pistol.
Yeah.
If FPX are able to convert, we've got a game on our hands.
Another slow approach. Don't want to get caught out by a breach trap, a breach stun. And this is a very unique Viper Orb from the side of FPX.
But the benefit of running triple controller is that it's okay that you can't really scoop it up anymore. You have so many other things at your disposal.
Looks like put our position for this fight. If anybody walks through, that fault line is being held right now from the side of Cracks. It'll go all the way across from heaven into the tree.
Off of the cam. There it is. The cam triggers the fault line.
Very smart from FPX to bait that out.
Oh, CNED. Oh, that was filth.
That was disgusting.
Berlin just destroyed him.
Instant.
Completely decapitating him, but now attention of the site goes towards B as the spike is in tow. Ion committing to getting the spike down. You see the paranoia coming through, but they've got what they wanted. They're getting the kills as well. Mr. Fallen down to 15 HP, out of Captain Health, yes, but they're so outnumbered. And there's still so much left to do. A sheriff in hand for the Omen, instantly dropped at a captain, manages to get his one. Still 3 to be found on the other side, 40 HP. Time is short, surely they swing on this, they get the kill. Massive pistol for FPX.
And I'm sorry, but you're just not winning a 1v3 when you're up against all 3 controllers.
Yeah, that's so difficult.
But the real star of the show here was Berlin there, taking out CNED. This was, oh, what a shot! That was crazy. And then these post plants, if FPX are able to get the bomb down, the smokes that you have to just cover every single choke,
Yeah, it's miserable.
it's gonna be insane. And I think this is why FUT did opt to use the breach instead of the Sage, because if they had to run through these smokes dry in this series, it would have been over. And as I say that, life takes the life away from 2 members of FUT. Krax and Yedige are gonna have to wait till next round to play again.
They're really setting themselves up nicely for a bonus here. 3 rifles and an outlaw. You know you're going to be able to buy a 4th. So assuming no silliness takes place,
Player standing.
which is always a possibility,
Down A.
they're going to have, yeah, what, 3 rifles and an outlaw carried into the next, so they're going to be able to buy their 4th.
And Life is gonna plant the spike as well and potentially even go hunt Mr. Fallen.
Berlin might be the one to catch him.
He will have Rocket online
Planted.
for the bonus. Look, look, he's just toying with him.
Autumn's the one that gets the kill. So a little bit closer to having that pit online, but they're the 2 rounds that GB was talking about. They're the ones he was looking for.
And this round right here, if FPX can steal this one away, we got a game on our hands and things will get scary for FUT. Nice shots.
Yeah, Life has been really impressive this series.
He's one off of that showstopper. And I think you're not going to see anything special here from the side of FPX. I think you're going to see a very steady default for the first 15 seconds, waiting for an aggressive play. There it is.
There's the aggression you were looking for.
What do they do off of that? No space gathered on that A side of the map.
And a ton of damage dealt onto Life. 51 HP, no armor. A tough spot to be in.
I mean, this smoke on the A side of the map is so unique. It denies the A stairs info from the side of FUT. They're not able to know if somebody crosses A like that.
They're not ready.
A lot of C pressure was being made. Just now, they opt to go back. Reconnecting with Berlin.
Mr. Fallen's the only one who's here, and yeah, there's a trip to help out a little bit. That jump spot must have seen something because you've got Krax already rotating back over with a fault line in hand. Life committing his ult. And he's gonna get so much space off this. FUT deciding they don't want to fight, they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
They'll rather fight for the retake. Krax has his fault line back up. A paranoia. But take a look at Life. He's tucked. He's right beneath them. Oh, they do check him out. A captain's able to get one. But the other kill's not going the way of FUT.
Last player standing.
What a round.
Lysor just insta 3 players. Wasn't even close. And I like the approach from FUT. I like that they gave sight because of that showstopper being online and the fact that they got out macroed. The movement was just not there. They didn't have the players to hold the actual site. And they want to do a cohesive retake with the breach utility. And this time, you know, I was saying, you know, how strong FPX's comp can be on those post plants because they have so many smokes. They didn't even need them. They just had crossfires on the site and that was it. What was that?
A collat with the outlaw to start the round. Surely there's a timeout on the other side of this.
Gun here.
It's slipping away.
Momentum is reaching its fever pitch here, with the crowd fully behind it.
And an upgrade for Life. He'll throw that outlaw out of the map. Pick up Lysor's Vandal.
With how good he's been with it, it might be a downgrade. Who knows?
Yeah, that's facts. And this should be a thrash online for the next round. The snowball is real. This is what happens when you win bonus. And a big reason why they won that is because of how impactful Life was in those first couple of rounds.
With the Outlaw.
Getting that showstopper online for the bonus round. And yeah, he didn't kill anybody with it, but he secured a free sight and gave his team a chance at winning.
Oh, and then even when he was playing in Hell under ropes, yeah, they saw him when they were flooding out from heaven. So that drew the attention of 3 members, which allowed for the 3K to come from stairs.
Yeah.
Because everybody was focused on trying to clean up Life.
I mean, every single gun round so far, and probably moving forward on this half, FPX is going to have an ult online. That is,
If they handle it correctly, you're absolutely right.
that is unreal.
Yep.
If they win this round with just a Thrash invested, all of a sudden you're going to have Viper Spit coming up online. Then you're going to have the Astro Wall. Then you're going to have another rocket. Life is halfway to another rocket. CNED will have to pick up an op, though, to answer.
Or at
Much
least
like-
attempt to.
Yeah, much like how Life had
Yeah.
to pick up an op on the defensive side. He has to be the man to bring them back into this game because it feels like FPX is in the driver's wheel.
Mr. Oh, that is not what they were looking for.
This is that smoke I'm talking about,
Yeah.
though. Nobody does this. I've never seen that. And you see why they do it. CNED tries to get the punish, but he just gets insta.
Start to see that other smoke dissipate. And I believe,
So many layers.
oh, they're not even going to try to pick up the op. They're not concerned about it at all.
This is all ultimately set up for a B split. This is why you see 2 players front B lurking
Yeah.
up, clearing space now. They have the Viper's wall that blocks off heaven control. I mean, if they get bombed down on this B site, if they opt to truly go there, it's going to be so hard to retake for FUT.
There's a lot for Captain to figure out.
It's a free site.
He got tagged. The vault line's going to buy a little bit of time, so Life cannot hunt him down, cannot get the kill onto Captain, but they're going to get the spike. He's so far up. This is really dangerous. On the other side of the smoke, the snap onto Captain is perfect.
Come on.
And he's far from done. Potentially, Yetuje, the next target, sitting on the other side. Trying to buy some time and trying to create some space. But again, Life is waiting just around the corner. Yeah, the kills get traded a little bit, but FPX take the lead.
The pressure that FPX is putting on right now is too immense for FUT. They cannot handle it. And going down numbers like that early, especially against all these smokes that are going on, it just makes it impossible, it feels like. And then Life just taking like those intuition timings in a smoke and just peeking out, which we've seen him do all series long. I mean, listen, when you get punished for it, it can look real bad.
But when you
But
don't,
when you don't, you win matches. And that's that timeout you were speaking of.
yeah, perhaps around late. But they do call it. And it'll give them a chance to think things through and perhaps talk.
It's not a question. Their crosshairs perfectly set up, but just have no answer.
It may not come this round. It may come in the next because you see the ults for FUT.
Oh my
They've
God.
got, what, 3 of them really close to coming online?
Oh my, another one.
You don't expect this round to go their way, but if Life continues to tee off, I mean,
He's got
they're
another
just-
showstopper.
yeah. That's the real issue here for FUT.
Okay.
But I want to draw attention to the next round because I think here, if you're FUT, your objective is getting the ult online for Captain and then potentially for Cracks if you can swing it.
Yeah, most definitely.
But Life is aware of the fact that that's the prized possession.
I mean,
An exchange of weaponry. And now Life going forward. Even the flash, I mean, as soon as the one-way goes up, they're just, oh my, good night.
just got overwhelmed. He just got overwhelmed.
And then Life puts a bullet between his eyes.
My ult's ready.
With all this pressure on C and the lurk dying front B, Autumn is able to just walk all the way up to A and allow his whole team to come back to him. It's another complete dismantling
30
from
seconds
each
left.
lane.
Yep.
Much like Sunset.
Yep.
Cage
It's
trigger.
actually so similar how they're playing this default on attack. A 4-1,
Oh, my wire.
they pressure, they manipulate rotations,
Cage trigger.
and then they hone it in just like this. I mean, both these teams have had great success on their attacking side, but FPX is on a different level right now.
They don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon either.
I mean, they're gonna knife him. They're gonna knife him.
They're gonna try.
This is the amount of disrespect we're seeing right here.
And my brother, they're being egged on by the entire crowd.
Mr. Fallen needs to die to bomb here.
I think he'll succeed. He somehow managed to slip the net and get away.
I mean, but... Oh, wait. No.
Imagine?
Surely not, no. that would have been so hilarious, though. It would have been even more funny. But when you're playing against a team that is toying with you like this and clearly
They are
running at you with knives,
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a good feeling to have.
Oh, that gets in your head, man.
But FUT they need to let that drive them to make a comeback into this map. They need to get angry. They need to dig deep. And they need to show why they made it here.
That's all well and good, but FPX have won 6 rounds in a row.
And their ults.
They have 2 ults online. They've got another one just around the corner.
Oh, the punish already.
This is a must-win round. It's a must-win round. They have to convert, and Yetu-J's already fallen. Seeing it's got an opposite there on the trade, and Autumn will fall too.
Bomb buddy out.
So much space has been taken by Life.
You
This
want
is
to
where
find it.
he has found so much success.
No
He's
way.
playing in the smokes, but they know. Up trained, shot landed, Life down.
What a maniac.
But it's worked.
Yeah, it has. It has. FUT this time. Too smart to let that work once more. Saw them spamming the smoke the entire time as well. They're so aware that that could be a possibility.
And they were right.
Yeah.
They've got to be careful here. A 2v4,
I mean,
in theory, should go the way of FUT, but they lost so many numbers advantage rounds in the previous map. No round is secure here.
these micro plays, like just that smoke being there and giving Berlin a little pocket to play in and potentially have players from FUT like overlook that. I mean, these are so, it's so unique to see a team doing things like this and how frequent they're doing it as well.
A 2v4 would be backbreaking. It'd be debilitating. It'd be devastating. And if Cena turns, manages to hit the shot, and not a moment too soon, because it looked like he was a dead man walking.
And life back into the likes of FUT. Big kills there from Cena. That quick scope. He may have missed the first shot after he opened that door, but this quick scope right here, that was so nice. And finally, things go the way of FUT for the first time. They finally get a first blood. An answer back. A man advantage, and now they have 5 ultimates online. CNED opting towards the C side of the map again.
No op on the other side to challenge. He's gonna get that line for free.
He's done playing around.
Mr. Fallen over his shoulder, there to help. And Crack's not far off.
Wow.
That's a massive opener.
That was a crazy shot.
They still need to convert, though.
And with CNED having this line, this deep C line, I mean, FUT have all the info now.
Toxin screen down.
They're aware that FPX is throwing a lot of utility towards this A side of the map. It allows them to lean majority of the players there.
Rash is ready.
Thrash online for Ion.
Go get him, buddy.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to end up as a B split. You see all the Asher utility, the smokes going up, the cover being created. Autumn has his pit. But you've got him at, yeah, it's a 5 ult on the other side. That Rolling Thunder's gonna hit all 3 and they're gonna flood into it. Can they navigate this pit and get the kills they need?
30 seconds left.
As the pit goes down, the kills go up. A 2v2. Spike's still not committed. They're gonna find safe passage and they can leave.
The transition. No way Berlin is here right now.
Surely they don't expect this. Oh, he's been spotted.
Time.
5 bullets, 46 HP, 10 seconds left. The shots from Attic Captain are good. Berlin's gonna have to hustle back. He's ahead of this, though. He's so far ahead of it! The pit goes down! Yeah, Dujay with so much to do. And Berlin holding the line decides to tuck tail, reposition, get away. Buy some time and create some space.
Oh, he's playing this so well.
Yeah, Dujay's going aggressive. He's buying time. He's got to land the shots, and he does. But that was far from secure. Whew.
That was an intense round, but it goes the way of FUT. Yedije coming up big there in that 1v1 with the wide swing, clearing that angle. A lot of players in that scenario may think, oh, maybe he's wrapping around CT already.
And time is short. I've got to head back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great play from him from start to finish. I mean, that's a nasty shot. Seriously. And Berlin with this one too.
That's what got it that close. I mean, that pit going down.
The gall you have to walk forward in the Viper's pit there. I mean, they're really just playing loose right now. Maybe they need to hone it in a little bit more though in these rounds. That Thrash just hasn't been invested yet. I feel like Hyung has been sitting on that for the last, like, what, 3 rounds?
I will say this, though. One thing that FPX did do successfully there is they got all those ults that we were talking about that FUT had.
Yeah.
They had 5. They just have 1 now. So they managed to get through a lot of that stuff. Kind of set themselves up nicely for the closing of the half. For the closing of potentially the series. That's a big kill.
Wow.
CNET is not backing down.
That was so fast. And with that shot being committed there, Yedije is tucked behind this wall, but he doesn't like what he has. He does not like what he's seeing. He backs up.
The freeze from FPX right now is ridiculous. Concerned about what might be on the other side.
The problem is, Doug, is that they haven't pressured C at all.
Yeah. Oh, CNET's gonna strike again, isn't he?
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
He's got the line. Wall goes up, Thrash goes out, and he's got to give it back.
No.
Even tagging on 1, and F2J falls.
A blunder.
Remember, this was a 5v4, and that was the pain point for them on Sunset. Back to even numbers here. And they're going to scale up. They're going to scale forward.
Good fault line there.
They just want to fight so badly, and I think FUT understand that now, and they're able to weather that well.
Finally.
I guess it's not, I mean, just in time, I suppose. The aggression might just be their downfall. As FUT are glad to play this out that way.
Yeah. CNET is getting massive value with this operator. That first blood, that was such a fast kill. That's like vintage CNET right there.
And remember, in the previous round, that was where the opener was too.
Yeah.
A peek out from B main.
I mean, he only saw his elbow. And then this. It's perfect. It's a perfect adaptation to how FPX have been playing these post plants. Just have CNET hold the line while the rest of the riflers scale up. And if any shenanigans happen from the likes of FPX, like somebody pushing through a smoke or somebody over peeking, CNET can punish.
CNET's there, yeah.
Oh, he's so confident right now.
He's taking the game into his own hands.
This should be a good indicator for FPX, though. The Omen one-way C, while there was an opera there, there's probably not anything else backing it up. But I'm not sure if FPX are reading into it like that, and Yedije finally gets punished behind that front B box. And for the first time in the last, I don't know, 3 rounds, FPX get the first blood and stabilize the round.
I can't believe they're going to try to push back into C. They know the op is there. Lightsword pays forward with his life. And this feels a bit more like what we were seeing on Sunset.
Yeah.
Everything fully spread out.
But FPX right now, kind of counterintuitive to tap that door unless they plan on ending B potentially.
Watch your fire.
I say that and Autumn just takes the head clean off of Captain.
They invest to Astral too to provide a little bit of cover. 30 seconds left. They're not ending A.
Yeah.
They're going to leave. They're going to end back B, and they're so far ahead of this, they won't even hear it. At this point, they don't know if the spike has been planted A or not.
And on top of that, Autumn is still here deposited.
The trap has been set. Do they know? CNET's quiet with it, the tap of the door, and CNET's the one who gets punished. That was the cue for Autumn to turn around, and now he knows there's another one there. They're trying to wrap around him. You see some of the pressure coming in from Cracks. It was a little messy there, but ultimately the shots land. Through all of this, what in the world was that?
What a transfer from Life! And he's hyped up. A big answer back for FPX. And it was that manipulating approach. But it only happens when they get the first kill.
Yeah. It was back to what was successful on Sunset. I need to see this again. This 2K. Yeah. That works.
So sick.
20 and 16. Straight into the next round. FUT with op in the hands of CNET still. Who's kind of been the win con these last couple of rounds for FUT.
Yeah. This time he started towards the A side of the map. He's been playing C for the last like 4 or 5 rounds.
They're going for broke here too. Dre, they invested everything. They've got to win this round.
That's a big spam kill from Mr. Fallen. A lot of utility used here from the side of FPX to re-clear that rubble area.
This just gets slowed down so much when you don't have life.
FPX in these rounds, when they've gone down a man, have not really had an answer. Unlike the last map of Sunset where they were down 4v5, 3v5 even, and then amongst the chaos that pursued, they would bring it back off of individual mechanics.
The winning situations they had no business even being competitive in. But lo and behold, they managed to do so. This is going to be a full hit A. A tap at the door. Oh boy. A sidestep to avoid some of that utility. Mr. Fallen trying to play his timing just right, manages to do so, manages to stay alive and get the kill.
This is that chaos.
A 2v3, op still in the hands of CNED. Oh, he gave his position away, almost lands the shots anyway. But the round just doesn't go their way.
Oh my gosh. It was getting scrappy there towards the end. For FUT.
These last couple of rounds have been scrappy.
Yeah, the back and forth. I mean, a spam kill is the main factor into this round. That's how close this game has been so far. And again, FUT is too dialed in on these moments in the retakes. They know that FPX like to overextend on their post plants. And they're punishing them for it actively.
Cena just stayed.
The disrespect.
That's crazy. The dash expired. And now he gives up the line.
Right.
But they're all still so close here. I mean, you've got, what, 3 members B, 1 other C. It's just Mr. Fallen who's A. Does that smoke out from Lysor towards A manipulate rotations? It seems like Captain is cheating towards A. That one smoke might have been enough
My ult's ready.
to create a window. But even if they do end out C here, Krax has his ult and he's close by.
And not only that, but Yereje has 2 trips, 1 low, 1 high, to deal with this Raze ultimate. Look at that. Little high trip there on the box.
Life.
This would be disaster.
Life holds the spark. There are the trips. Oh, and the pathing's not good for him. He gets a kill on a Krax, but it's traded.
On my wire.
A 4v4. A little commotion at the beginning of the round, but it slows down as the F2J gets a little bit too Antsy a little bit too aggressive. Wingman dies, but so does Captain.
The fadeaway.
It's CNET and Mr. Fallen to try to close this map and take us to game 3. But this heavy of numbers disadvantage is so difficult to weather. The spam through, fortunately for CNET, the clip ran dry, but that's all it'll be. OT on the cards.
All off the back of life. The pathing that he chose there to punish Cracks, that was insane. And yeah, Yedije tried to read ahead of the play, but instead, the rocket came towards that water area and took out the breach. And once that utility is gone, it's nearly impossible to retake. You have to run through smokes dry. It makes it so hard.
30 seconds.
That's just not a fun game of Valorant to have to play.
No, not at all. Wow. What a map so far.
I mean, what a series.
Yeah. And this is already a different setup from FPX, which is good because we saw them getting punished with the 3-man A fight that they had, getting caught out on the reclear timings and everything.
Okay, they do this really aggressive angle where they take this angle just like this, and then there's a Nebula that covers his exit. Oh. This is what I was talking about, similar to what they did on Sunset. Life has taken such a deep line. And he's just continuing to go forward. That should allow the rotations towards A very quickly.
This time they decided to push all the way through. Life does have a satchel to go past this trip. And if he does, he has a free flank.
And even if they clear the trip, maybe you expect 1, but 2? They're so far up on this.
Eyesore, he's alone here.
Yeah, but he takes a step back. Yeah, wisely.
And he's had a rough map so far as well.
Meanwhile, the trip was cleared. They've spotted the second. That's going to go down as well. FUT have to take a step back here. Yetuje and his cam, seeing if he could spot anyone. Again, there's this 2-man flank that's coming in from the attacker spawn, and I don't think they know. Oh, he's been spotted. Meanwhile, Xena just on the other side of the smoke. Autumn's the first to fall.
Does he expect another, though?
Hey, he has no way to look for it anymore.
Captain has a flank.
Yetuje falls.
Heaven.
How much more can Cracks find? Waiting just on the other side of this panel, Berlin goes into astral mode as it's a 2v2 that's left for the rest of the round. Life by himself now. He's got it to half. 3/4, the spam's coming through, and they manage to kill him before it goes off. Woo.
Oh my gosh.
Switching sides.
It's so scrappy, it's so chaotic. It just goes left and right, it's swinging. Sometimes you can't even tell who has the advantage.
No, not when they're that close.
But Captain with this flank, he walked all the way through Broken Door into heaven and wrapped CT. That was the clutch moment.
Yeah, not only him getting that light flank and then him pushing the defuse. Life was what, 3/4 of the way there?
Yeah.
Potentially last round of the map. Sorry to say that cam already cleared out. Op in the hands of CNED. And much like the previous round for Life, takes an aggressive line. Even's willing to be bold enough to check B here.
Wow, so interesting. CNED to tap that door there.
He doesn't even have his dash procced. He almost went all the way into spawn without an exit strategy.
Yeah. I mean, he understands that FPX is scared of him right now. They haven't really been putting the pressure on him to truly get him off of this line. Even when utility is used, there's no body to follow it up as such. And this is what allows him to be so confident and retake the angle.
He's got to be careful because that dash was procced and now expired, and he has the possibility of getting wrapped here.
I mean, he is truly on an island here. But he's not punished. FPX are so scared of him.
I thought Lysor was going to crunch from B, but no.
Rotations have been baited out, but FPX aren't reading this right.
30 seconds left.
Closing moments of the round now, again, potentially of the map. And it's still a 5v5. We've barely really heard bullets be exchanged. Paranoia is traded. Keep an eye on Yetuje. He's going to get the timing, isn't he? He's still at large, but Mr. Fallen's getting them all. I cannot convert. Mr. Fallen with 4, and we're going to map 3.
It's an action, and I want to see what FUT have to answer for it, you know, like, because it's so unique, and FPX is such a weird play style that it can really throw you off. But the key factor here is CNED and the way he was playing that last map. I don't think he's going to veer off of that at all, Doug.
No.
Oh, this is something new from FPX. Aggression on the pistol round.
Well, Yetu-J is the first to check. Life will fall, but instantly traded. Meanwhile, gunfire erupting towards B. The spike should go down with plenty of space. Ayong and Autumn, the only two that remain.
Yeah. And this is just going to be so hard to retake into. You still have Viper Molly up. You have Shock Darts up. Krax has a flash still, if need be.
Yeah, but Krax and CNED are both weak. So there's a shot at this. Well, never mind. There's no longer a shot. There's no longer a shot at this. That should be the decider.
Yeah. And Ayong right now just needs to get as many kills as he can, start farming that Gecko Orb, potentially even farm the Orb next round, you know, on that A side of the map like we see so many other Geckos do.
Right, but instead he got nothing.
Yeah.
Except a bullet to the face. So, FUT get the pistol. I do think, what I'm really curious about is, yes, we can talk about Clove and how different that is, but a triple controller comp on defense on Icebox is a different beast. We saw it on Lotus, and that plays very differently.
Yeah, I just think still FUT understand what the win condition is, or at least they should, right? Because on a map like this, especially around that mid area of the map, you're going to see Harbor probably defaulting this wall a lot.
Yep.
But if FUT decide to start punishing that and actually walking through it later in the half, where like maybe FPX don't want to play it as much, they're going to be able to win rounds just off of that lurk timings that we saw Yetu-J get so many times before. I mean, even that in that pistol round, he got a kill on the lurk.
Yeah. We'll see if he can do it again. Speaking of lurks, Berlin is in their spawn. Has managed to get past the turret. There's no way he's expecting that. Yeah, Yetu-J's dead.
Oh my gosh.
They've gotten another.
Oh
They've gotten
gosh.
3. Krax and Mr. Fallen, the only 2 that are up. I didn't think they had a shot at this, but lo and behold, it happened.
With classics. With classics, Doug. And it's all off of Berlin. He just came huge for his team. He used the Cascade to block off the Killjoy turret. Yetu-J wasn't in range to hear that utility being used.
The timing was perfect.
And he just crept on by. Then he got 3 that round.
Well, take a look at the MasterCard Thrifty one more time. It was all off of this. This is what you were talking about. Berlin finding the timing, using his utility to get past the turret, and then it was assassination style onto Yetu-J. It was perfect.
And
yeah, what just happened,
yeah, for real. But also, Ayung's Gecko Flash there got 3 players of FUT on that yellow area. It was insane. That's what allowed them to scale up so far up and allow those classics to be put to good use.
Look at the reposition of the turret here.
Oh my
Way further up.
That was disaster for FUT, Doug. But yeah, you're totally right. They already have to make an adaptation. And Berlin, he wants to win today.
I thought Ada Captain was going to find a timing and some space there, but they had it watched. They had it covered. Yetu-J is the only one who has a rifle on the side of FUT right now. CNED have taken so much damage and ultimately will fall.
Last player standing.
It's just a shooting range for
For FPX.
Ayung and Autumn. Yeah.
And FUT are the targets.
Is sitting really healthy here, though. See what he can do here.
Autumn 5 HP.
That's potential.
The potential is quickly squandered.
Yeah.
So for FPX, they managed to do what FUT could not and get through, and that is get through a clean eco round. Yeah. So now they have the lead. They've been able to upgrade the weapons from the second round, so they've got plenty of money. They didn't lose very many members, and they've got ults online.
I mean, exactly. You have Harbor ult and Gecko ult online. 2 of the best ults for retaking on a map like Icebox.
The flood potential's crazy.
Oh my goodness. This could be another potential snowball for the likes of FPX. If they can survive the early round and not give any first bloods to the side of FUT, the chances of them winning in the late round, to the mid to late round, is great.
It's so high. But as you mentioned, they've got to get through this part of the round. FUT with a heavy lean towards A.
So passive. And Berlin's objective here in trying to maintain mid control is to just spot it and just keep recycling utility.
That flash goes high, and Life should be able to swing on the other side of it. But tucks into a smoke. Oh,
wow.
that captain was wise to it, jumps into it, and gets the kill. But again, remember, the cheeky part about Clove is that after they're dead, they can continue to smoke. So if FUT decide that they do want to end up A, they're going to have to deal with those smokes still. Effectively, 3 controllers still up.
FPX are so worried about Yedege. They're looking everywhere behind them. And he still gets value.
On to Berlin. Lysor and Autumn, the only 2 up. And Lysor's trying to deal with what Berlin could not. Finally spotting the lurk.
Oh, he's just a menace in the
He's a
back line.
nuisance, yeah. What? Okay.
A nice spam kill there.
2v3 though. Time is
they're
short.
going for it.
No, I mean, they're gonna have to go
Oh my
really
gosh.
fast.
They have a chance, Doug.
Last player standing.
Wait, how is this happening?
Get2j's not gonna get there in time.
How is this happening?
He's too far out.
Oh!
Another stolen round.
The crowd's going insane right now. You can't make it up. Autumn just went crazy. All Lysor had to do was stick the bomb there. And that was like a guaranteed round, it felt like, for FUT. But they played so separated on that post plan. I think that they thought that maybe FPX wasn't even gonna go for it.
It was so late in the round.
But as soon as that spam kill came in, that was the green light.
That was the cue to go.
Oh my gosh.
FUT up 2 rounds here, hobbled by for FUT.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, Hunter Shiri invested, and Life is done.
Fumbled on his feet there.
Get2j has his ult online. They've got, what, 2 rifles to play with?
Spike planted. You should run.
The pressure is immense for both teams. There's so many mistakes being made.
First sheriff shot goes a bit wide. Autumn will fall, and they still have to wait out this lockdown. And they also understand everyone that's remaining on the map right now from the side of FPX is coming in on the flank. So they wisely fill in on the space on the other side, and we flip the map.
This is so insane.
Get2j's also going on a late flank again, but they're investing the Reckoning. They believe they can win this thing out. And it's far from certain. Keep a close eye on Get2j.
There's no time.
He's going to be the late flank again. There's no time. You're absolutely right, and they're both going to fall on the way out. That was a little messy, but it worked.
Satisfied.
Doesn't matter how you get there as long as you do, right?
Yeah, and they did.
Both these teams so far, you can tell that the pressure is on and they're feeling it. A thrifty after thrifty. I mean, even this round, you had 2 players on sheriffs for the likes of FUT, and they still steal it away. But a lot of mistakes being made. Life in this scenario, fumbling on his feet, he got stuck, he got clipped on the wall, couldn't dodge the so ball.
Right.
High pressure situations like that cause micro mistakes.
Life has been so aggressive here. And I get it, Life's the duelist, but you don't have the same mobility on Clove, man.
Yeah. He's been getting punished quite a bit so far, but
How does he get away with that?
from the ropes.
He's gonna swing out onto the second. He's just so reckless in his approach. And when it works, it's great.
And the flank from Berlin is in effect.
They're gonna,
Oh!
no, they're gonna rotate back in.
my gosh!
Get his knife out.
And Yedege on B that allows them to run back.
A mess of a round made once more.
It's just complete chaos. You can't describe it any other way.
Autumn can cut him off. Oh, but he's been had. Oh my goodness! He hit that! Now a 1v1.
Oh my gosh, Cena closes the round out, but what was that from Autumn to bring it back? The flick on a Yedege.
I thought he was a dead man. We've got to see that again.
This map just keeps on giving. This series keeps on giving.
That is disgusting. And then almost getting the last kill onto CNED. Yeah, that's the one that got away.
I have to give props to CNED to like seeing his teammate just get absolutely destroyed like that and still going for the reswing.
You have to. I mean, you have to.
He had to bring it back, huh? Oh my goodness. Oh. And a slow 3-2 default from the side of FUT here. Just prodding into both areas of the map. Yedige again getting value as that solo lurk. Oh, and it's all just a ruse.
And Life getting punished, going aggressively once more.
Yeah, FUT this time not messing around. They actually invest a Viper's Pit on this side of the map to further sell that it might be the bomb leaning towards that B side, but they're actually on A.
And they have no idea.
Yeah.
So as things shake out this way.
I mean, that is just ridiculous, though, that Autumn kills at a captain there in his Viper's Pit with a Sheriff. I don't know how.
They've got two
They're getting
rifles
these
here,
kills.
too. Well, they had two rifles. Now they have one.
Wow.
In the hands of Ayang. This round should go the way of FUT. I say should, only because nothing has really made sense this map.
You just never know, man. You just never know.
One enemy remaining.
This one should be secure. Jet2J will fall, yes. But it looks like they're going to be able to clean up the kills that they needed. The spike will go off. They're going to save their weapons into the next round.
Finally, some normality.
Yeah.
Into
Things going the way they're supposed to go.
Yeah. 4 ults on the side of FPX. On the opposite side, Yedige almost on his second Killjoy ult. He's going to guaranteed get it this round, I believe. And that causes coaching this defensive side, especially towards that A side of the map. They're playing so aggressive. They're not giving themselves a chance to even use these ults in the round.
Yeah.
They're kind of just going for broke and just like taking ones left and right and leaving it up to the players to do a 3v4, 3v5 retake and try to win.
But I think that's part of the adjustments that's been made. You see how far back Life is playing on the other side. Meanwhile, Lysor gets caught just as he was trying to find safe passage and an exit.
Too over-eager there.
Yeah.
They stayed for too long. Maybe just get that kill and get out next time. Oh, and that lockdown's going to delay this retake even further.
Goop continues to goop.
The clock now is just going to play against FPX. And they're investing.
We're seeing the first Clove ult. Life has to take a fight here.
But they're going for this? This is crazy.
Remember, if it's an assist or a kill, they're able to come all the way back, but they still haven't been gifted that finally. Now Life can play on the tap of both. There was so much bait being played. Mr. Fallen has to call the bluff and does. Oh.
Yeah, that dart coming up right in time.
That was too close, man.
I cannot wrap my head around the fact that FPX is going for these retakes, but then they just prove me wrong because they bring it down to a 1v1, a 3v5 to a 1v1. And I just can't help but feel like if they just hone in those early round positions and advantages that they have, that they would actually win the 5-on-5 retake. They're almost doing it every time in a 3v5.
It's like they're playing at a disadvantage every single round. You're absolutely right.
They're letting the game slip away from their grasp.
And this is what we're talking about. It's Life being up. In the previous round, it was Lysor. This time, Life gets away unpunished. At least that's for now.
But he still sticks around and tries to fight. No one's here. If he dies, it's a free sight.
And the 1-for-1 doesn't add up when you're on defense.
I feel like right now FPX is playing way too loose. And FUT are playing disciplined Valorant. They're punishing every single one that FPX is taking right now.
This is fresh off of a timeout, too. I thought those adjustments would have been made, but it seems like that wasn't a part of the conversation. And if this is how things continue, FUT will systematically pick apart FPX the entire round, the entire half, excuse me.
My gosh.
It's a 4v1.
You know what?
Yeah, go on.
It took a while for FUT to get to this point where they can be confident in their attacking side and like holding certain gib spots, which when I say gib, I mean, you know, holding for aggression in different areas of the map after you've pressured areas or even after you've gotten a kill, yeah? Ada Captain wraps Lysor there, takes him out. But FUT finally seem to have FPX figured out, and they're able to punish the aggression that they do, the solo heroic plays, and hone it in and just get the trades like this, even if there's a kill being made. I mean, Yedijay just basically took out 2 players' heads there. He shot through Ada Captain's head. And there you go. Laughter from the side of CNED and the rest of FUT because they understand that they have a grasp on this and they figured it out, it seems like. For now.
Just at the right time.
For now, but we'll see when FPX gets on the attacking side. Oh my gosh.
Here.
What a roller coaster so far.
This time, a bit of a more cautious approach
Yeah, and
from the likes of FPX.
And Yedijay not lurking this time, just sitting in spawn. So he's been switching up his playstyle so much in all of these attacking rounds.
I love this too because this is a call that's being made by the team. This wasn't on the other side of a timeout. Unless it was planned 2-3 rounds in advance. This is them calling it on the fly.
I like the adaptation from FPX here, though, putting the harbor towards the A side of the map. You can cycle your utility here and really thwart any type of attack that happens onto the site.
That's big.
There's the punish, finally.
It was Jet2J to find some space.
Now it's
that was his objective, but now it's on Mr. Fallen to try to do the same. Oh, it's gotten messy. Mr. Fallen enjoys his teammate.
30 seconds left.
I mean, the approach here is pretty clear.
They don't know. They both don't know.
They have no idea. They have no idea. Meanwhile, CNED falls. You see across the minimap where the kills have been littered everywhere. I mean, a couple of them happened A, one mid, one over towards B.
One enemy remaining.
And now with 10 seconds left, FPX are the ones putting the finishing touches on the round. This would be ridiculous, but time is just too short.
And if you just look at the minimap for a split second, there's just bodies everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was
spread out
saying.
from FUT. It's just, these fights are happening sometimes at the same time at different areas of the map.
Let me take a look at it again. I think it almost felt like FUT's timing was off on what their approach is because I think the standard is still there, right? It's a 4-1.
Yeah.
They try to create some space. Jet2J tries to find some space on his own. If he gets a pick, they rotate away, but they were way too far committed A.
Yeah.
Jet2J was way too late on his mid lurk, and then he gets caught. There's no real space for FUT to take off of it, and then everything could just kind of get thrown into disarray.
You're absolutely right. Another 3-2 default for FUT. This time the pack being towards that A side of the map.
Berlin is so far up on B.
I mean, oh.
If it's not Lysor, if it's not Life, it's Berlin this time.
But while this is happening, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because they're pressuring B, and had anybody try to re-aggro A, they could have committed with the spike there. A great re-clear.
And they've got, yeah, they knew the second one was there because of the thrash. So 2 fall on the other side, and Life going aggressive, gets his one, but it traded, and he's gonna get res back up. Unless Autumn can get here in time, but instantly punished. That knife is gonna perhaps give a little bit of false sense of security. Yeah, and he knows. The knife not tagging someone doesn't mean the prowl is not there, but Ayong hits the shot anyway.
And he has that thrash still. He picked it up again.
Get out of my way.
2v2 Blades online.
Is he gonna dash onto him?
Enemy
Whoa!
remaining.
Right into his face as the utility was up. A 1v1. There's no other player FUT would want in this position other than CNED. Lysor with 85 HP. The tap is there. CNED gets the kill as FUT get to 7.
What a smart heads-up play from CNED there. He's aware that Ayong is gonna pop that ult, and he has updraft and dash still. He took that split-second timing and dominated it, and that kill from the rope, that was nice.
The kill from the rope was nice, but I think you're right. CNED's play aggressively into the face of Ayang there was perfect. Dodging the thrash, finding the timing window, getting the kill with the blades.
Yeah.
Deploying drone.
An attack side operator for Yedije. Sova ult online for Mr. Fallen.
Meanwhile, Berlin is an op of his own on the side of FPX. And you can see what the approach is for FUT here. They've got the alarm bot B, they've got the turret mid, and then they've got Yetu back in spawn.
Light has just been absolutely struggling on this A side of the map. He gets taken down again, and an early harbor pit.
They're just going to run away, though. They don't have to give him this fight.
That being said, a lot of space gathered for FPX, but they just wait out that ult. And that ultimately will have to have Berlin fall back.
Remember, he's got an op. 85 HP, he took some damage.
Look at how aware Ada Captain is. He crouched under this. Oh!
Just taking CNED's head clean off.
Instantly.
That snap was poetic. But now the Hunter's Fury creating a little bit of disarray on the site. They're going to invest the pit as well.
Oh my gosh.
They've got to be careful here because Lysor and Ayang are not together. And Ayang is just trying to take matters into his own hands. These heroic plays, if they work, it's great. The paranoia's timing is perfect. Lysor shows up just in the nick of time.
Last player.
A 3v2, now a 3v1. Ayang still there, one found. They're so far spread out. FUT played that beautifully.
Yeah. That was such a nice round. They baited out all of those ultimates. And Life, once again, getting punished on that A side of the map. And there's a lot to be worried about right now if you're FPX, because the way that CNED played that last map, if he plays the same way on this defensive side, and FPX give him way too much respect and don't actually push him off of these opping lines, he's going to take over.
Yeah, that's reps. And he already is starting to take over again. That aggressive play with blades into the face of Ayang, that's a I'm taking over type play. That's a you cannot deny me. That's a CNED play.
There you go.
Freaking ridiculous. FUT up 8-4 at half, 1/2 to decide how this series plays out. There was much to be said about how FUT dominated the attack half, in large part because FPX were kind of recklessly throwing themselves out into the beginning of the rounds, but it's a different story now.
Yeah, and I mean, statistically, both teams have been just great on the attacking side.
Yep.
So I am expecting something great here for FPX, especially if they want to win their first match internationally.
The potential to make history in front of a home crowd.
What a weird smoke. Oh,
dude, CNED is on, and FUT are on in a way that is ridiculous. This is not what we saw the first map. This is not what we saw for a lot of the second map. This is a FUT. This is the FUT that people were talking about potentially being the best team out of EMEA.
Yeah.
They're all frying.
Yeah, frying, fighting together as well. And I liked what FPX did there. I was wondering what they're doing with that clove smoke on top of yellow, but it's actually to set up Lysor to TP into it. But FUT were a step ahead, and they brought the fight to them like this and just disrupted that entire default.
That is such a cool smoke idea. You're absolutely right.
It doesn't matter if you get interrupted before you can even commit to that.
Right. Meanwhile, you saw the pop-off from FUT. They can smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
And it seems like FPX might have just run out of gas.
There's a gap in this cascade. That's a blunder, but CNED doesn't punish it.
A little bit further up than intended.
4 players here, though, and CNED is taking over.
Yeah, he missed the first couple of shots, but not missing on those two. Autumn and Berlin left to pull off a miracle.
One enemy remaining.
And I don't think it's going to be the case this time.
Flawless.
A flawless round for FUT as they get that much closer to closing out this series.
This place is nice.
But are no slouches on a map like Icebox.
Win and get out of here.
That's why they allowed it into the map pool. They love this map.
Whatever hype and motivation and energy was coming from the crowd at the beginning of the series, at the beginning of the map, it's gone now.
Just sucked out of them.
This place is silent.
And even on the side, for the players of FPX, they were hyping up the crowd. Now it's just quiet.
Yep.
I mean, they just look a little lost and distraught.
A bonus round win here would be, I mean, it would be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I'd feel like it, wouldn't it? And they're getting aggro on this B side. Life is here.
They've taken so much space. Oh, but they know. You see the ping on the minimap. Life is aware of the fact that they've crossed each other. He's going to get both. He's going to get both, Dre.
Oh.
Ion gets the second, but that's a massive start for FPX.
CNET slipped the net here, though.
Enemy remaining.
Hits one shot, but not the second. And now Mr. Fallen's left alone. It seems like the possibility, the threat of a bonus round win is gone.
And with that, there's
Spike
hope.
planted.
Just a sliver,
Yeah.
but there's hope. You're right.
Instilled back into FPX.
Mr. Fallen doing his best to give it a run at it.
Yeah, any type of damage here is good.
That's the last
Gets taken out briefly from Berlin.
This play from Life was gorgeous. And honestly, in a lot of ways, if you think about it, mentally, it's not very different from what he was trying to do on defense. It was a very aggressive, it was fine to timing, it was try to get whatever you can and then get away with it. It's him making plays, right? Trying to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, could just be so hard from that controller role.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And yeah, Clove is not your conventional, controller by any means. But still.
We'll see how much more he's able to pull off with those wild antics that we've grown to expect and in a lot of ways love. See that knife going in aggressively towards Kitchen. Mr. Fallen has been tagged.
So aggressive.
The thing is, because of Jet2Day's positioning, that knife isn't going to catch him, so that alarm bot is still up in Kitchen. If they decide to go B, or mid, excuse me.
So cool what FPX have done in this round so far. They took very aggressive space in mid, fell back, and then re-smoked it for a lurk, denying even more info. And you see now, actually FUT are reading into this that it's going to be a lean towards the A side of the map.
cooling down.
They're all stacked over here, or almost all of them.
And if Yedije re-clears this market area of the map, if you're looking at the mini-map, he's going to know for sure that it's A site.
The knife only tagging, what, maybe 2? We
but
know Ion got caught.
Yes.
Cover.
And that's the Gecko. And normally where Gecko is, that's where the pack is.
And so because of that, they're all staying. 4 members here, but a double flank. You've got to keep a close eye on the middle of the map. Jet2Day can secure the round by himself if he plays his timing just right. Oh, but it's FPX who found the space they needed. And now Jet2J has to be pacey about it. He's got to get up and aggressive, but Life turns on him, gets 3. And now with 10 seconds left, CNET's left on his own.
Spike planted.
He has his blades, but decides not to pop them.
Life is running at him.
Trying to stick with the op as Life gets 4, and we're starting to hear signs of activity again from the crowd.
And Life, he got 4 into that round. The timings are working out now that it's the attacking side, and it's all because of the early mid default that they did. They had 3 different layers to it. They took aggressive space early on in the round. Then they fell back, then they lurk smoked, then they lurk smoked again and walked through it all. I got scared for a second for FPX. I thought that they didn't know what they were doing themselves. But they had it under control the whole time, it seems like.
And what's crazy is that Jet2J peeked out of that smoke half a second earlier. The round doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
But that's all in the past now. CNET pops his blades. Pistols for FUT.
CNET wants all the smoke right now.
Yeah, but is he going to be the one giving it or receiving it?
Oh my gosh, that was
Pops Life.
clean.
One blade is all it took.
Life hasn't ulted yet. I don't even know if he's going to invest it for sure. But CNET's already here towards the B side of the map.
Meanwhile, Lysar feeling some of the pressure, expecting the push in. Thrash used in a position like this.
Oh, he wrapped him.
He had no shot. 3v3 still.
Spike planted.
CNET has his blades. Mr. Fallen has grabbed a weapon, upgraded now. He's so close to him. But Berlin's wall is what keeps him back.
CNET was stuck in between 2 ferns right there.
But through all of that, FUT have managed to upgrade 2 weapons now. First it was Mr. Fallen, now Krax has the same. Second Thrash used. And they've managed to get past it. They're behind him. Oh, Mr. Fallen got caught. Autumn with 4. FPX are not done.
What a monster. 4 to his name. He's 1 off a KO ult. Man, when he's feeling it in these post plants, I mean, he goes crazy.
Be faster.
He just peeks everybody and instas them.
Yeah, all that said, though, that was blades and pistols at the beginning of the round. That should not have been that close.
It's very true. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to win a round. Pistols or not. And now a good chance for a snowball for FPX. A lot of good ults online for an A hit.
2 online, Autumn's not far off.
This is where we might see the Clove get immense value, especially with the ultimate ability. We're gonna see probably a Harbor ult engaging the site, and Life will just send it.
Go fight.
He's gonna send it. And then pop his ult if need be, if he goes down.
The thing is, they're playing pretty far off site here.
Yeah.
You got the Molly, the Dizzy, the Flash, the Reckoning, everything dumped in, and they aren't giving him the fight at all.
This is why it's cool to play the Clove on this map. Much like Arena, if you get the kill, you can regain HP.
But they don't even give him the fight. So now they're gonna have to deal with the Flood attempt.
Oh, here we go, Vintage. Perfect timing again!
Frax falls, and they get the spike down.
And he could go for more because he has that ult online.
Pushing the pace, pushing the matter as best as Life can.
Oh, he's playing this so well.
Oh, tried smoking for himself. Mr. Fallen catches him. And there's the ult. Life joins the fray once more. Tries to get away to reposition and now take the fight, and he's back. Not connecting at all. I mean, full momentum back, Dre.
Just like that. Full swing, full steam ahead. And FUT, I mean, that's a very conventional approach. You know, like give the side up, play a retake. But the fact that Life has that ultimate online, he's able to do crazy, crazy things like that.
And get away with it. That's mad.
And the cool thing about it is when he actually pops the ult and tries to retreat back to his team, he's got backup. He has the Dizzy backing him up. Not only that, but Autumn is there to help him out with the rifle.
It was a full firing squad. And then, of course, Life still being able to land the shots onto Mr. Fallen. That's the key.
There you go.
Yeah, as expected, I think. Have armor. Has seen it. Okay, I wondered how that was going to play out. It looked like it was going to be full armor in a classic, but sells it. Buys a Marshall instead. And is looking to take an aggressive line. This pathing is gorgeous. Using the smoke against them to try to find some safe passage, but has to dash back.
No guns, like no true guns here on the A side of the map for the likes of FUT.
Yeah, both of them are on the flank.
They understand that they need to get proactive because as time runs down, the longer they wait, if that A hit comes through, those players should not be able to hold.
This is their best chance. But they don't continue the flank. They get info, and they've left one. Look at Jet2J. And add a captain with a spit to keep him back.
Oh, it's getting very sketchy right now.
I mean, they're playing on a knife's edge.
FPX read into this correctly, but they're missing their window of opportunity to hit this A site before the rifles make it there. And the time is running down really low again. This Viper wall is gonna come up.
Ult out for Mr. Fallen. Splitting the uprights. Not really getting any info. Now 15 seconds left. The spike's still not out, but Berlin is on a late flank. Cena drops him. They're still trying to establish some control on the site, and it seems like they're going to be able to do so, but now the fights ensue. Mr. Fallen with a great first shot and a second two. A 2v2 now. No rifles on the hand of the defense. Ayong and Lysor left to figure this one out on their own. As the spike ticks away. Weapons out of reach. Mr. Fallen with 3. Ayong has to do it on his own. He's gotten it down to 1. Cracks 24 HP. And if he plays this position right, it's going to be beautiful because time is against him. Ayong on the snap, lands the shots. The Red Bull clutch for FPX.
Just barely. Both players were sitting at One shot apiece for FUT. Oh my goodness. It was so scrappy.
These couple of shots from Mr. Fallen there were everything. He hits 2 filthy shots just to get him competitive. It was ridiculous.
Gosh. Feeling it. So happy they secured that round win. That being said, that was not a full investment for the likes of FUT. And they managed to do that.
I feel like it's back-to-back too.
Yeah.
CNED with the op. The drone to get some info, and I don't think it spotted anyone. Oh, maybe it did. A tag on the minimap to suggest some presence.
Captain and Yedeje on this B side of the map have been so aggressive.
Yeah, they have.
Because they understand that FPX hasn't really been defaulting B early at all. There's no need.
No, it was really what? It was Life who took an early space a couple of rounds ago and managed to get that 2K in Garage. But other than that, you're right, they haven't fought for this at all. And now they're going to, but Jet2J has a line.
What a great knife from Autumn, and the follow-up as well. Doing everything for his team right now.
Captain taking a step back, realizing Contain has been lost. And a very careful attempt at clearing everything out. Captain dodging the paranoia.
30 seconds left.
But playing his life once more.
Look at Life in mid right now. He's gonna call his team back potentially, or just late flank. No way Mr. Fallen wins that.
He's been on one. That last round was huge, and he's picking right back up where he left off. Captain punished. And now numbers heavily in favor of the attack with the spike invested too. CNED has to take over, but with an op in hand, can he do it? No, I think he's just got to save. You don't really have the money to do this. Grabs a rifle. Do they commit to this fight? Might be ill-advised. Yeah, he's getting the op, he's getting away. So FPX are gonna tie us up at 10. An 8-4 half. That was forever ago.
Oh my goodness, Doug. FUT now in the later parts of this map are starting to get caught out by the randomness and the timings that FPX are taking. They did so well on their attacking side to punish those timings. But when it comes to playing defense, it can be so hard to know when to use the utility correctly against a team like FPX. And that's why you saw Captain get caught out there with a molly out. I mean, he just, quite frankly, he just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, there was no way to
Who
be
does that?
Right.
Why is he solo peeking me back sight?
So because CNED was able to preserve the op from the previous round, they've got a little bit of fire to this one. Not much, but enough.
And he takes out Life early here.
And a weapon upgraded.
And the rotation as well.
I mean, they realized that there was only one there. And they've got the turret holding down mid, the alarm bot under tube. So because they know all of the lean should be B, they rotate here.
Oh, they're here to fight back sight.
They're so far ahead of it. The Hunter's Fury invested. Captain falls. How much more can they find? The spike still hasn't been planted. A second attempt here. Labored but successful.
No way, not again.
This is where they kind of get in trouble sometimes when they go a little bit too aggressive, but this time it might be the key to their success. Lysor in a 1v2, down to a 1v1, lands the shots! The 3K and the Red Bull clutch for FPX!
Lysor had such a rough map on Lotus. It was sitting at single-digit kills, and now he steps up like that. And again, another scrappy eco, but they close it out. This was insane.
Man, he's delivering when it matters.
And against Mr. Fallen of all people, who has been immaculate these last couple of rounds. He's had 2 soul vaults in the last like 4 rounds.
Again, that early peek from CNED to attempt to punish. He's still really far up here too. procs the dash,
Oh my goodness.
and now waiting for the challenge that I do not believe will come.
Yeah, a nice change of pace here for FPX. Last round, a big commitment towards that B side. They did a B default right off the get-go. Now, a more passive, just spread out default.
Krax has an ult. J2J has an ult. Captain does too.
And the thing is FPX don't really play a passive post plant. They like to fight up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you want to play retake A maybe with that Killjoy ult. But if you go B with it, they're going to fight you. You're not
Right.
going to really get a good KJ ult
No,
because they want to fight backside on you.
I think they're going to fight you no matter what.
Yeah.
So if that's the attempt, if that's the approach, you just have to be ready for it because you know they're going to run at you.
30 seconds left.
Here comes that snow man control.
This wall was, I mean, scaling back here
Oh.
is often trouble. But can they pull it off? Can FPX find success here?
That's Killjoy ult down and he gets KO as well.
A 3v5.
One enemy
It's all on to Captain now. Oh, he's got it down to a 1v2 and they're both so weak. He invests the pit. But he's been surrounded. Autumn on one side and Berlin on the other. The timing is everything. Can Captain find the tiniest of windows to pull this thing off? Time is short. Bullets soaring on either side.
Oh my gosh.
Stick it. Oh, he gets caught as it hit half. FPX get on series point.
Match
And the potential to close it out. It's a scrappy buy. Light armor across the board. I can't believe Berlin in that round took out two of the most important ults for that retake. Poor Captain, he did his absolute best there to identify where both players were, and he did that. But there's no time for him to do it.
Impossible situation.
All the pressure is on FUT right now. Their moments on this team. That's what's so impressive. There isn't a set carry. Maybe the first map, sure, Life had an amazing map.
But it's not a one-man army. You're absolutely right. That Dizzy looked a little high. Oh, it did bounce back. CNED in a position
Nice.
to take things over. Dealing damage onto the second. Ion weak now.
It's fighting everybody right now.
Remember, they still have a lot of those ults. Can CNED close it out on his own? That's that play you were talking about. Lysor now in the clove smoke. Trying to punish and succeeds.
Shadows traveling.
Now things slowing down. Krax and J2J still have their ults. One invested, Captain on the flank. And FPX called a freeze at a moment like this. Wisely re-clearing back spawn. And now options in abundance. Do they stay B? Do they flip back A?
That Killjoy turret has the cross in mid, Doug. So they don't need to rotate.
But do they smoke it off? Life's body is here.
I don't know if he's aware.
It doesn't seem like it's gonna get smoked. The turret will catch it. Oh no!
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
But they're gonna be able to pick the spike back up and rotate back. The problem is Autumn's not here with them. So Lightsor's on a solo mission.
Do
He's just gotta buy some time. No, don't do it. You gotta buy some time. Now, the lockdown invested. Lysor dancing around it, looking to take the fight! And they do it! Their very first win on international stage, and it's on home